3-1, parallel lines and transversals. Transversals. So parallel lines are coplanar lines, meaning they're on the same plane, that don't intersect. So here's an example. Line JK is parallel to line LM in this sense, in this picture here. I've got JK, LM, and they are parallel. And one way that we can show that they're parallel is we draw like a big arrow, like a thick one that's going the same direction, and we can say these two are parallel. Sometimes the arrow will be like filled in like this. Either way, we're saying these two are parallel. Now we are going to also see a line that crosses both of those. This line is called a transversal. This is a line that transverses, that crosses through two other lines. Now we're gonna keep moving here. So skew lines these are lines that don't intersect, but they are also not coplanar, and they are not parallel. So in the past we've talked about lines, if they don't intersect, then they're parallel, but that's not necessarily the case in 3 dimensions. So if I have a plane that's like this, and I have another plane that's like this, and these planes are parallel, so this is plane K, and this is plane L, and plane K is parallel to plane L. So these planes are parallel, meaning they will never touch as long as, you know, forever. And I can have a line N, that's inside plane K, and I can have a line M that's contained in plane L. Notice how N and M are not parallel, they're not going the same direction, but still they will never touch. So N is not parallel to M, but they will never intersect, so they are called skew lines. They're skew. They'll never intersect, but they are not parallel. They're skew. Now, we also have parallel planes. That's what we're looking at right here. So let's just write this definition here too. Parallel planes. These are planes that do not intersect. Okay. Let's do an example of skew lines and or segments. We're going to draw a triangle. And then let's draw the same triangle right underneath it, or close to the same triangle. And then we're going to connect the corresponding points. Now, if you want this to be dotted to show that that's back there, that's fine. Okay, over here on the left is J, and then up on the top is K, and then to the right is L, below L is R, to the left of R is P, and the last point back here is Q. Okay, so you might get something in your homework that looks like this, and you are going to be asked to identify segments that are parallel to JP. So we'll look at that in a second. We've got three things that we're going to look at. A segment that is skew to segment KL, and a plane parallel to plane PQR. Okay, segments parallel to JP. So I'm going to find JP, that's right here. And so the segments that are going the same direction as JP and will never cross JP or never intersect JP are KQ and LR. So segments KQ and LR. Those are the segments that are parallel to JP. Segment skew to KL. So I find KL. Now I need to find a segment that is never going to intersect with KL, but is not parallel to KL. So QR down here is parallel to KL. So that one is not skew, that one's parallel. So here's KL going this direction. PR is going a different direction, and it will never intersect with KL because it's on a separate plane. So PR is a good segment that is skew to KL. Another one is PQ. And I think that those are all of the segments that are, skew to KL. Now a plane parallel to plane PQR. So here's PQR, here's plane PQR. The plane that is parallel to PQR is this one that's on top. Notice they're going the same, they're flat in the same way, going the same direction. So plane JKL is parallel, is parallel to PQR. All right, let's keep moving. Now we have this big chart to fill out, and I am going to we are going to fill this out together. So we're going to fill up this whole page here, and I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can. So transversal angle relationships. Angle pair relationships. All right, so we are going to have a couple, we're going to have two columns. And we are going to draw a picture over here. We're going to start with the picture, with the diagram. See if I can make it fit in here. So we're going to draw one line this way. This is line T. This is the, T is the transversal here. Then we're going to have a line here. This is line Q. And we're going to have a line here. This is line R. Notice how line Q and line R are not parallel lines. But we can still talk about some relationships here with angles. We will look at this again with parallel lines in 3-2. But let's label these angles here. So upper left is 1, right next to it is 2, below 2 is 3, and then 4 is under 1. Down here on this other intersection, I've got 5, and then to the right is 6, below 6 is 7, to the left of 7 is 8. Now I've got these two lines. In between these two lines is the interior. And then outside of those two lines is the exterior. And this will be more and more, this information is going to be more and more needed as we move on to 3-2. So I've got 4 interior angles. They are between Q and R. And those 4 interior angles are angle 4, 3, 6, and 5. Those are my interior angles. I've got 4, let's underline interior, 4 exterior angles. And these angles are 1, 2, 7, and 8. And these are not between Q and R. All right, now we've got consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior angles. So these are consecutive interior angles lie on the same side of the transversal. So the angles that lie on the same side of the transversal are 4 and 5. Notice how they're interior, consecutive interior. So they're in the interior and they're on the same side of the transversal. So angle 4 and angle 5. Oops. Angle 4 and angle 5. Also 3 and 6. So 4 and 5 are consecutive interior angles, and 3 and 6 are consecutive interior angles. Alternate interior angles. Lie on opposite sides of the transversal. So the alternate interior angles are, they're still interior angles, but they are on opposite sides of the transversal. So the alternate interior angles are 4 and 6, and 5 and 3. So they're opposite interior angles. They're on the opposite side, or alternate, sorry, not opposite. Alternate. They are on the opposite side. 3 more of these things. So I've got alternate exterior. Opposite sides of transversal. Opposite sides of transversal. So alternate exterior, so that would be 7 and 1, and 2 and 8. They're on the opposite sides of the transversal, and they are the exterior angles. So angle 1 and angle 7, and then angle 2 and angle 8. Consecutive exterior angles. Consecutive exterior angles lie on the same side of transversal. And so I've got on the same side of the transversal, I've got 2 and 7 and 1 and 8. So angle 2 and angle 7, angle 1 and angle 8. And last part of this ongoing table here, corresponding angles. These are same position and but different line. So what I'm saying is angle 1 is on the upper left, angle 5 is on the upper left. So angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. Angle 2 and angle 6, they're both on the upper right. Angle 3 and angle 7, they're on the lower right. And then angle 4 and angle 8, they're on the lower left. Those are corresponding angles. All right, let's do a little bit of an example here, and then we'll be done with 3-1. So first I'm going to draw a transversal here. I'm going to draw a line that goes through it and another line that goes through it. They're not parallel. In the future, most of these will be parallel, but for right now, we're just looking at the relationship. So upper left is 2, and then 1, and then 2 is on the right, and then over here we've got 3, 4, and then below 4 is 5, 6 next to that, 7 below 2, and 8 below 1. And this is line L on the left and line M on the right, and the transversal is line N. So which line is the transversal? Oh, I've already told you that. Which line is the transversal? B. What is a corresponding angle to angle 8? 2 more questions. Alternate exterior to angle 1. And then D, consecutive interior to angle 2. All right, so which line is the transversal? It's the one that goes through the other lines. So these are not in contact with one another, but this line goes through both of those. So line N is your transversal. Corresponding to 8. So corresponding, remember, means it's in the same position but on a different line. So here's 8 in the lower left, and now that's on line L. Line M is the other line, and I see 6, angle 6 is in the same position as 8 is. So those are corresponding angles. Alternate exterior angle. So here's 1 is in the exterior. The alternate exterior angle, it would be angle 5. Because it's on the other side, the opposite side of line N. So that's angle 5. alternate exterior, so exterior alternate. Now consecutive interior to angle 2. So hopefully you guys are kind of trying to work this out in your mind a little bit before I give you the answer. But consecutive interior to angle 2. So interior, so it's going to be one of these on the inside, and then it's consecutive, which means it's on the same side of the transversal, so that's angle 3. And you guys should be all set for your homework. Good luck.